was a hillbilly song. Old boys like Merle and Men in Black said what they want, never look back. I tear up the crying time. Me and Johnny fight to hold the line. I stick around, pick it up, I still wear.
This is Ramblin' Man Moto. My fellow ramblers, welcome. I'm on I-64 headed west in Virginia, about 40 minutes out from connecting with Route 42, a ride I've done once before and quickly threw together this ride this morning. I don't really remember much of the ride from 42. Like, I think I got on further south, but I'm gonna enjoy the ride and then we'll pick up in progress once I get to Route 42, or at least a little closer. Let's roll. One thing I'll mention out here on the interstate that I've noticed today is now that I've got those lowers, the hardware lowers off the Roadmaster, there is wind buffeting of the head, but it's coming up from that area. You can put your hand here and on both sides feel that the air is coming up. It's nothing coming over unless I lower the windshield. So those hard lowers, they keep air out, which means less buffeting or no buffeting, but they also make the engine run hotter because it's an air-cooled bike. I guess normally on the back roads I'm on, it's not as much of an issue, but out here going 70, 80 miles an hour, I've noticed it a lot today. And when I put my hand here, I think it's coming right up here. So just something to be aware of if you decide to take those off. Obviously they served a function, a good function, and the air they permitted through wasn't enough to cool my engine, in my opinion. Now in the winter, that wouldn't be such a big deal. All right, we got about 8 more miles to Louisville. No, that's a song. 8 more miles to Louisville. Come in and interview. We got 8 more miles to Churchville. 8 more miles to Churchville. Come in and interview. All right, let's keep rolling. Lexington, 43 miles away. That's the location of Virginia Military Institute. Burial place of Stonewall Jackson. I believe still the burial place of Robert E. Lee and his horse Traveler. I don't think they've managed to remove his grave. I think they removed the Confederate flag in the chapel. Because, you know, all those Civil War aficionados that come to see that chapel, they're so offended, right? They're so offended seeing that flag. People who never visit, they're so offended, they can't take it. Gotta remove it. Hey, look, a Cracker Barrel sign. Is that the new logo on there? The briefly new logo? They already got changed on all that? That's interesting. I guess they're gonna have to do that back again. Whoever ran that marketing campaign should be fired. Now they just need to do something about the cold food. Woodrow Wilson Presidential Library. You know, I was just talking to somebody about that Virginia is the mother of presidents. We have the nickname, the most number of U.S. presidents born in Virginia. And what I couldn't remember was how many presidential libraries we have here, if any, because I don't remember being in any. And Woodrow Wilson, admittedly, is not one that draws my attention that much. I haven't really studied much about Woodrow Wilson. And from what I know, I don't think he was that great of a president, but I could be wrong. But I didn't realize he had a presidential library here. I bet that's not the monstrosity that some of these have become. Might have to ride up there one day and check that out. All right, we're going to take this exit 262 to 11 that says Stanton. to work our way to the route I plan to take today. This is Route 42. All right, this is 250. Runs, I don't know, maybe the whole state, I don't know, but I know it runs near my house. This is where I came in last time I took this trip. Came in off this exit and made a left. I think there might be like a gas station we stopped at down the road here. All right, we're gonna take this to Route 42. All right, guys, we're about 1.5 miles away. You can see it calls Route 42 the Scenic Highway, or describes it that way. I'm embarrassed to admit I don't really remember what I thought of the views 2 years ago. I know on one of the, when we got off it to come home, somebody had told us to stop. And we drove by would have been a good overlook. I'm kind of mad I didn't take the time to stop. I felt like we were running late. And it was on an all gravel parking lot. And I just kind of kept going. This Route 42 was recommended to me by somebody like 2 years ago when I was asking about rides, and they said that they did not like Skyline Drive unless you like putting along at 35 miles an hour with mostly woods around you, which is, I think, a fair description. It's a 35 mile an hour speed limit road. Sometimes drops even lower. Then if you get stuck behind an RV or a slow driver, it's a bad day too. And this was described as a route with sweeping turns and the same mountain views. Now the mountains are, you're down in the valley here, so you're not looking from up on top. We're gonna take 42 north. Somebody did tell me that I should maybe consider going down to Bristol, Virginia, which is right on the border with Bristol, Tennessee, and start and take it north from there. And I guess it ends at, is that Waynesboro? No. I'm messing up. 42, Woodstock, I think, is maybe where it ended. And the last time we did this, we picked it up, same kind of route here. I remember there being some stop and go traffic, more than I expected. So we'll see if I remember correctly. All right, 42 north is the turn here. So that's what we're gonna do. To Harrisonburg, which is what I plugged into my navigation program here. Let's see how we get along here. When I did this ride the first time, and the only time, that's when I invited some people from Facebook who accepted my kind of general call out for a ride. That was my first, what I'll call, real group ride. I was 3 other guys and me, and one of the guys is the guy that does a lot of the work on my bikes for me. I was the slow man in the group, no doubt about that. Those guys were flying and very good riders. Couple years back for me. I still feel nervous and not up to par. I was on my Super Chief Limited, I think, on that one. Or maybe the Springfield. Did I have the Springfield then? I'll have to go back and look, but I think it was the Super Chief Limited. And they had me in lead. I don't know what you guys think about that, to have the new guy in lead. I mean, I guess it was good, because they would have gone much faster with me in the rear. But I thought maybe one of them could show me how it's done, and then somebody behind me. But they said that was my route, so I should be the one to lead it. That was their view. What's the etiquette on that stuff? I have no idea. the other way here. I had thought about maybe riding up north and riding it back the other way, but as you see, I did not do that. I would love to play my music, but if I play it through the speakers, then YouTube might block my channel, might give me copyright strikes, or if I make any pennies off any advertisements, they'll send it to people that really need it, like Kenny Chesney and the Zach Brown Band. So I could play it through my headset where only I could hear it. Then I don't think it would be much of an issue. I don't know if that would be picked up on the recording I'm making as I talk to you. Do you like to hear me talk on these rides, or would you prefer for me to shut up so you can hear the engine and just look at what these routes might be like? I like watching routes for people just if I'm considering a ride myself, to know what I'm getting myself into. I can probably cut off this navigation after the next stop. I had plugged in cities at home, but I have to do them one by one. I didn't set this up as, I don't think Maps lets you keep adding locations. Maybe I should have, I don't know. Drops down to 40 here. I get worried about the small town cops. I'm generally a law-abiding citizen. Guess I better slow down just in case here. Kind of an odd spot to slow down when the whole road looks just like that to me. It's still 40 through here, yeah. Trying to lower the screen a little so that I can look over it maybe on this ride rather than through it. That just adds a little wind buffeting at the top. But off the highway, it's not that bad. Now, if I take it, is that all the way down? Just a hair. I'm trying to like just take it a hair. Having some trouble doing that. I think I actually prefer looking through it. Not sure how that's going to show up on camera either. It's interesting, I can see that camera on the handlebars is really shaking a lot. DJI wouldn't replace the handlebar mount that broke after 6 months because they said it's only a 3-month warranty. So I was using this other setup, but I think their stabilization is so good you can't really see it in editing. I don't know if you can see it when I'm trying to show it from this camera, that I can see it shaking a lot, like when I hit bumps. It's amazing technology to me where these things have come from. When I was a kid, this stuff didn't exist, right? These would all make a lot of cool pictures. Our drone footage. And you wonder what all these structures cost to build. How much revenue do they generate? Woodstock is at 56 miles. That's where the ride ends if I go all the way. When we did this last time, or the first time, first and last, we when we got to Woodstock, looked up like restaurants nearby, and there was a barbecue restaurant. So we went like, I don't know, 8 minutes down the road and found this good barbecue joint. I should have been in a lower gear for this. Ah, God, I did that terrible. I did that terribly. Mad at myself over that. That was terrible. I would have corrected it more if a car was coming, but I knew it was good. Bad line. Bad skills. That's such a weakness of mine. Wow, what a view. Look at that driveway. So if we were on Skyline Drive, I'm a little confused about where that is with where we're at right now.